Hey guys, welcome to the Mind Unleashed, finally episode 40. 40. Welcome, here we go. Alrighty. As we always do, let's give a few shout outs to our supporters. The first one is Lyft, the ride sharing app. Use our code TMUP for $20 off when you do your first ride with Lyft. If you don't have in the Orlando area, don't worry, punch our code in and you'll get $5 off for your first 4 rides, your first couple rides. So it's $5 a ride. Restrictions do apply, and the code might change. Just a heads up. It depends on how many of you use it, stuff like that. Also, please check out not Dine Arts Video, Cinematic Aerial Services Cast, Daniel Weisenberg's new company. What he does is drone shooting for residential stuff, filmography. You're trying to get a small film off the ground, commercial in the Orlando area. Phenomenal work. If you are trying to get a home on the market or trying to get it into the real estate market and trying to get it sold, check out him. Use our code, man. OMI, you'll get $179 per property. He'll hook you up perfectly fine. He also does weddings and stuff like that. And that brings us on to Weiss Productions. Weiss Productions is a locally cinematography company, and he does weddings, special occasions, corporate events, stuff like that. Use our code OMI and you'll get 20% off when you book your next project package with him. He'll take care of you. Also, check out Straub & Law. Straub & Law was our trademark attorney for branding and stuff like that. We are officially trademarked as of Monday for 3D printing. We got our SM, so pretty awesome service mark. And we are trademarked, so that's awesome. Straub & Law hooked us up, really took care of us. We found him on Thumbtack. We really needed assistance to get our trademark done. Very affordable, very budget friendly. He worked with us, at least worked with us pretty well, and I will highly recommend him to the day goes along. Also, check out Angie Connors. Angie Connors does real estate in the Orlando area and Mount Dora. We're going to be moving to shortly. Check her out if you're looking for a really good real estate agent. We'll be talking to her on a podcast hopefully in the near future. Trying to get that all hooked up. Anyway, let's get on to episode 40. Sorry about all that. So it has been a while, a week. Let's do it. So, if you guys tuned in to episode 39 and a half, you saw the live Facebook version of the podcast. Really enjoyed that, and the batteries weren't charged and all the GoPro and stuff like that. But now I have some things to talk about for the week, and I'm probably gonna do like 3 podcasts for the week, just so I can fill up the Lipson account and make sure I use the proper stuff. But what's been going on, man? I pretty much been working a little bit trying to get the cards paid off. Got to pay those credit cards, pay for all the equipment. We're doing with 3D printing and stuff like that. My anniversary came up with my girlfriend on July 4th, so a few weeks prior to that, I did show you guys on Instagram the lift of fame that I did for her sister who passed away a year ago. About a year and a half ago, almost 2 years now. Passed away unexpectedly due to some health complications in a hospital. An aneurysm unfortunately popped inside her chest, and they couldn't stop bleeding and stuff like that. But anyway, I did a lift of fame for her. I didn't know what to do for the anniversary, and it was like, shit, what do I do? Do I want to make a lamp, lights, something to honor, something? But I don't, people with anniversaries, they don't really know what the fuck to do, They're like, okay, and I'll get her candy, chocolate, take her, and that's obvious fucking choice. I mean, we like to do fun things, go to Disney and stuff like that, or go do some awkward things, go see shows, plays, stuff like that. Just get out of your own fucking skin, because I love getting out of my skin, meeting people and trying new food, stuff like that. That's my goal. I don't like to do the same thing that everybody else is doing, that's why I like making and building and doing what I'm doing with Open Mind. We're changing the norm, and I believe everybody should, develop and try to change that a little bit. So what I decided to do, it took about 3 weeks in planning. I knew our anniversary was coming up pretty quick, so I was like, shit, what do I want to do? And I had a 3D print project in mind. So what I did, I saw a lift of fame project from 3D printing noob on YouTube, and I saw a few other things I really like. I explored YouTube a lot to learn some picture logic and stuff like that, some CAD modeling, and that's where I learned a lot of my stuff, and I learned some of my own stuff in the hubs and maker hubs, stuff like that. And I share a lot of knowledge that I'm learning with other makers and communities and stuff like that, anywhere I can. Because it's the right thing to do. At first I thought, keep the shit to yourself, but at the same time, it's not how I've been learning. I've been learning from other people, especially on Instagram too. I've met a lot of makers that are really fucking awesome, that are the same. They run companies too, and they're like, you know what, throwing me knowledge, I'm throwing them knowledge, things that they're learning, and I think that's the way builders, makers in general like to. We don't share everything, but we share what we like to share. If it's a little settings tip or it's tips and tricks, we'd love to share that, because it's like, why be a dick? Why not show some knowledge? Because knowledge needs to be fucking shared, especially in the maker community, because that's kind of a dying breed from what I'm finding out. But yeah, I saw that on his 3D printing noob. If you guys want to check him out, look up Lift the Fanes, and that's why I kind of thought, and I thought that's a pretty cool video on how he did it. Now I forget the website name. I don't have that really written down, but I will put that in my my documentary, and I'll show you on how the hell I created it. I ended up using a lot of different programs to create the Lift the Fane, and it was pretty interesting how I did it. But there's a website. You have photos. You can take the photo, run it through the program on the web browser, and then it shoots you out a Lift the Fane. Now, Simplified 3D offers you the same thing. You just gotta do an invert on take a photo and turn it into a 3D model. It pretty much does essentially the same thing that this program does. And it was pretty simple doing it. The hardest part of getting it to do a Lift the Fane was making sure the black and white ratio was taken care of. Turning the positive to a negative, which the program on the thing tells you to do. And the guy walks you right through it. He's amazing, and I'll make sure to put his name to his description. Really, really cool 3D printing noob. Excuse me. I've been up since 4 o'clock a.m. Check him out. What he showed was like turn it to positive to negative, and then you want to turn this and this and this. But once I figured out like how to do it, and then it was not only that, but getting your settings just right. You want to make sure if you're taking, it's got to be a black and white for it to come out just beautifully. A colored photo won't work as well. It's not going to pop as hard when it's 3D printing. If you're doing black and white, you want to go 100% infill on the infill and let it print. What I did is a 0.1 layer height on the CR10 Mini, and it frickin' worked phenomenally. I'm using Solotech filament PLA. I have a 221 on the extruder and 0 heat on the bed with glue stick and glass, and I'm just making sure it's nice and tacky. I used rafting, and it printed beautifully. A 48-hour print for her, and it was pretty much what I wanted to do. Was like, okay, I was gonna make it like a box plant like that, and then put like the photos like that, and I was like, cool, just put like the light, and then it will shoot up in the air, and it will look beautiful. Then I thought, that's not really working out well, and I went to go play with Fusion 360 from Autodesk, which I'm using for the company and stuff like that. We're on the entrepreneur license, so you'll be learning how to use that. But I'm realizing, okay, this doesn't work like 123 Design did with Autodesk, and it's the same company essentially. They are the same company, because Autodesk, you can pretty much what I call kit bashing, which model makers, if you hear Adam Savage's Tested podcast, stuff like that, kit bashing, and that was when model makers would find kits, model kits. Okay, I need this part from this kit or that kit, and they would just cut it off with a Dremel or a little Sawzall and stick it to other things that they were making, which meant kit bashing. And I think 123 Design allows you to do that without having to go through all the heavy settings and shit like that. You could just slam models together, and then when you're done, you go to export, you can hit combine model, and it just like glues them together into a solid mesh. Went through all that. Super tired. Sorry about that. Kit bashed it beautifully well, and then I was like, why isn't 123 Design working? It was giving me some issue. Luckily, I had an old copy, because I know 123 Design is now out of circulation. No longer, Autodesk kind of doesn't support it. It's hard to kind of get an actual copy. Luckily, I have the actual files on backup for that, just in case reason. I was like, it's good to have all these files in case computer does. So before that, my fucking computer wiped because I was trying to bootleg. I need to stop fucking bootlegging. We're not rich at all, so it's hard to buy programs and shit when you're not making enough money to pay for your rent. And you're trying to run a company. So I told Pernisco, who did our logo and stuff like that, and I've had a talk with him. I said, hey man, I'm looking to get, probably ZBrush pretty soon. Can you get me a copy for Windows? So he ends up finding me a copy of a torrent and shit like that, and I go download it. It goes on my hub or something like that, my email or something like that. So I go download it. You know, if you're a bootlegger of software and shit, you know the routine, turn your antivirus off, stuff like that. So I get to fucking installing this thing. Oh my god, it had so much fucking malware and so many bugs that I was just like, it putting programs on my old hard drive. So that was no fucking bueno. My hard drive ended up just crashing in general. It didn't kill the hard drive. I just had to really just flashed on it, like wipe the hard drive perfectly clean and then put a clone copy of my original hard drive back onto this one. So I did a full clean of the old hard drive, fully wiped it, clean, fresh new slate, and then installed the old one. So I was like, never again. But I ended up, I'll tell you in a little bit what I ended up doing later down the road. Anyway, so I was like, shit, I lost the photos for my girl, so I can't really do the project I wanted to work on. Well, thank God I had a backup on our hub, our actual hub, and stuff like that. We have it at the house, and because I had to back up her phone when she passed away, her parents, my girlfriend's parents were like, hey, would you mind backing it up if you can? Her dad works for a company that looks for parts for devices and stuff like that. He actually helped build the Ring doorbell. He found the cameras for Ring, if you guys use the Ring doorbell at all. So he's pretty much a part finder for companies. Like, they need a certain light bulb for a certain car, he goes to purchase them and shit like that. So I ended up backing up her sister's phone after she passed away, and like I said, it was unexpected, so it was like they wanted to keep everything they could. And luckily, a friend of mine who does work for Apple was hesitant, but at the same time, he was a super cool friend of mine. I was like, hey man, I don't mean to bother you. I know there's programs out there to do this illegally and legally. Is there a program I can just grab all the text messaging, everything like that from her phone, and then hang on to it? Because what happened was, like, they wanted to keep everything they could from the phone. It's just like, they wanted to pull everything they could away from it. But he was super cool about it, and he said, yeah, man, he goes, there is a program, I'll send you over a copy and stuff like that. I'll give you the key and stuff like that, so you can explain the whole situation. Remember, sister passing away. He was very helpful with that. And he said, you know what? He goes, yeah, there's a program out there. It's called, I think it's iExplorer or something like that. And he said that will recover everything you need from the iPhone and stuff like that. So I was able to pull a lot of stuff up that they were needed, or photos and stuff like that, emails, stuff like that. It was really sensitive and vital for her. But from there, I had a copy of the old photos, which were her sister at the Hogwarts Express, and Green Gods. If you guys been over to the Universal Orlando version, and then the I think Hollywood's got a version too now, and so does Singapore and Japan. But pretty much, my buddy Michael Pernesco, who you guys know as our OMI multimedia guy, who does a lot of our media and stuff like that, help me out with all the media, and like hits me up, and I'm like, hey man, what do I do here? He goes out with the logo and stuff like that. He built the frickin' logo, so it's copyrighted, don't use it. But Mike ended up sending him and said, you know what, let me see if I found the old photos, and I said, hey man, computer crashed, it's been like 2 days, but everything's back to normal again, all the updates are new on the hard drive. But I said, here's a photo of her sister at Green Gods, can you Photoshop this? Before I even texted him, I have two friends. I have Daniel Weisberg, like you're talking about, who can Photoshop he's amazing at what he does. He's great. And I was like, I can hit up Daniel, and Daniel will probably do this in 2 seconds. But let me hit up Mike and see what Mike's talents are. Because Photoshop allows you to apparently take people out of photos, but it needs to be a sequence of photos of the same photo. So about 16 of these, or 70 of as many photos as you have, and then it compresses the photo into a singularity as a clean photo. It takes a bit of time to render and stuff like that. So I said, alright, I don't only have like one photo, maybe we can kind of brush her out or move around. So Michael was able to take the original photo that we had and then move her to another spot. I guess we did use the original photo, and then we moved her a little bit into a perfect spot where there's nobody there, and it had a nice color. The problem is with the original photo of her, it still had a lot of the lighting and stuff like that, with the sun, the way it was hitting. So when he moved her back a little bit, you can see where we had to do some color changes, but we kept her as realistic and loving as we could, and it came out really good. So from there, with the lift of fame, like I said, I needed to take that original photo. And Mike he really didn't like that photo. He was like, man, he's like, I don't mean to sound like an ass, but this photo is not really well done. It's not DPI is fucking horrible on it. And he's a photographer too. He takes a lot of photos, and he's just like, the DPI is horrible. And I might be wrong with that word, but He's like, man, the density and the pixels are just bad. He goes, I'll do what I can, but he made a quick cut. He took a cutter out of the photo and then moved her a little bit so we can get a clean, spot for her, and then render her into it. And once we did that, Michael sent me back a copy through my email, and then I was able to go to the iPhone, this guy here, and literally go into my color grade and literally darken her, like play with the lighting, play with the black and white balance, contrast balance, and really blend that photo in just beautifully. So it looks really good. But with the lifted fan, like I said, it needs to be black and white, and that's what made the 3D printer say, okay, I need 100, darker infill here, heavier infill, lighter infill here, lighter, So it knew, what the color gradients needed to be. So when the light, flashlight or your backlight hits that lifted fan, it's gonna just show beautifully. It's gonna see all the rendering and the color and the texture. It's just amazing. But the project took me like 3 to 4 days to fucking do, and as I was literally having a problem with Fusion. I took them around on Fusion. I'm like, okay, how do you combine objects? It was nothing like 1, 2, 3 design. I was like, what the fuck? So from there, I literally, getting down to 0 hour, I kept praying my girl was not gonna come. Dana wasn't gonna run into the house, and I'm like, hey, I'm here, and I'm like, oh shit, something's printing on a 3D printer. You can see it, Of course, you're gonna ask what I'm printing. She always likes to see what I'm printing or working on. But this was a gift for her, something I wanted to really put my heart and soul into. So what happened was, I was going to do the square lighting technique. I ended up taking a photo with her. We were by the castle. She had a private one. I changed the rendering on that to black and white and stuff like that. Made it really look beautiful. And I was like, that's cool, but it's kind of good to keep her out of it. So what I did is, the program online allows you to do curvatures on them. So I did one curvature here, one curve like that, and one curve like that. And I did a photo, one photo, and then a Ravenclaw logo, which turned that, that was a photo, and then the other one. And then what I did is I said, okay, now that I know that 1, 2, 3 design's working again, I uploaded the old software, ran fine, blended it together, stuck it together. I ended up making a base, and then I went online to Thingiverse, which most 3D modelers do. And I look around there. I look for a lot of good model makers and people that like just blend and build shit. And I saw a wand holder, so I typed in wand holders. I was like, anybody wand holders, logos, stuff like that. And luckily, this person made a really good wand holder to custom made. It was kind of 2 griffins holding, with the wand holder curvature behind the neck. So I said, alright, that looks cool, but I really don't need the Ravenclaw. I don't really need the frickin' Ravenclaw or the Gryffindor seal with it. So I ended up downloading that, and luckily they just had the base thing, like part 1 and part 2. So I took that and I put that into NetFab, which is a slicer. It fixes up any kind of holes or meshes and stuff like that I found out about years ago when I started getting into it from Alan over at Milwaukee Studios. And I ended up taking a slice underneath the feet and took the griffins off and was able to move those into my own model. I made a plate, a basic plate, and I ended up typing her sister's name into it and putting Hogwarts alumni, because on her shirt it said Hogwarts alumni. And then I printed the base and then model stuff, because the photos were already printing out that day, and that took about 48 to 50 hours. And I was like, wow, it's 0.1 layer height, and I cranked the speed down to about 70 millimeters, and it was just, I won't say sluggish, it was just printing beautifully. And it's a good, people love to print fast, and I keep telling people to print fucking slow, man. Take your time, learn the filament. I've learned this filament very well. I'm really, really loving this PLA, and I didn't think I'd like PLA as much as I do. I'm more of an ABS guy, but until I get enclosures and find better PLA, like Hatchbox or something like that, I'm going to kind of keep playing around with some PLA. PLA, I know a lot of model makers like to use it because it's easy to mold from, and it's biodegradable. Later down the road, you can just toss it in the trash or grind it up really well, because it's corn. It's not going to biodegrade after a few years. It really can hold itself. A lot of people like using it in their parts and stuff like that. ABS is what most people like to use, but PLA is what model makers love to use. Easy to work with. It's just easy to print with. Very, very clean. Great prints, stuff like that. But that was printing, and then I ended up checking out. I got a light from Amazon, like a water light that goes in your pool or whatever. It's like that floats around like a little thing. And that was a few bucks, like $7 for one of those, and I had a color changing LED diode and stuff like that with the controller, and that worked out really, really well. So I ended up checking it with the GoPro and did a time lapse, which I'll be posting later on this week when I'm somewhat not too fucking busy. Excuse me. But came 0 hour, and I really wanted to show everybody the photos of this project I'm working on. Could not show it, could not, my girlfriend follows me on Facebook through our company page and stuff like that to support me and stuff like that. And what we do, she's very advocate, biggest advocate I probably have. My mom too, and family is they're big advocates of like what we do, and they're like, you do the podcast, they'll be loving that. You do what you do, you're learning more shit, you're teaching people stuff to do. It's awesome. But anyway, so it was kind of hard. I had two friends that knew about it at work, and I was like showing them. Mike knew about it more than anybody. I was showing him some stuff, and he was like, this is cool shit. The minute I turned the light on, I said, you gotta see this. And he went, oh, holy shit, because he didn't even know. He's like, man, it looks like garbage. He finally sent me the rendered full copy of the photo that he did, remixed and shit like that, cleaned it up really good. And he goes, I go, well, too fucking late now. And he goes, why? I said, well, it's already printing and I'm already halfway done. I said, it's already been printing for about almost, 24, 48 hours, almost 50 hours now. And Mike goes, oh shit, okay. So he goes, oh, how's it coming out? So finally when it was finished, I was able to turn the LED on it and shoot, and show him a video of it. And he wrote back fucking immediately going, wow. He goes, that's fucking outstanding. And it came out pretty good. And what I found out afterwards, once I surprised her with it, I didn't know how to surprise her with it. And it's kind of hard when you do fucking projects for people. You're like, okay, how do you surprise someone without, pissing them off or, kind of making them upset? And I was like, okay, I have a lot of Amazon boxes lying around because I had a couple orders that had come in, glue and shit like that, etc. For some other stuff. And I said, alright, man, I got an old Amazon box. I got a lot of packing. So I'll just put this in here with the light, so I have a controller. I could put like a little sign on it, but it has my name on the box. So I was like, day of anniversary happens. It's 0 hour. I did it. I completed it. Glued it with Gorilla Glue, super glue, which I highly recommend. I need to get some more accelerant to accelerate the thing. I think it's just, they said baby powder and a little bit of Telson powder, baby powder, and you just dip it with the thing, rub it on, and it speeds that curing process right up. Anyway, get down to 0 hour. Box is closed. I call her. She tells me some things. She's like, I'm ready to run. It's coming anniversary. We haven't really picked anything to do. I said, all right, let's just, we'll go see The Incredibles. We haven't seen The Incredibles yet. We've been dying to see that. And it's been a few weeks, so my friends have already seen it and told me at work how good it was. So I was like, all right, it's my time. We'll go see that, and then we will go do dinner, and that, that will be our anniversary. So we ended up going to see The Incredibles. Before that, she ended up coming by. I ended up lying to her and say, hey, a package came. She has her credit card on my file for Amazon. I said, yeah, my mom or somebody ordered a package for you. You gotta come check this out. That was the hardest fucking thing to kind of like convince. She's like, what do you mean? And she's like, what do you mean? Like, I wouldn't expect anything. Like, my backpack, what the fuck, She ordered a on a backpack a while back to get it repaired. She gave my address. Anyway, she goes, I'm running low on funds, or I just paid rent, all this shit. So I was like, okay, let's keep her. I was like, I don't know. I was like, it didn't come off your credit card, it came off somebody else's credit card, don't worry about it. The package is here with your name on it. She comes on in, she's like, kind of heated or anything. She's all excited, but I said, hey, the package is on your bed. I played it out so smoothly and well. I said, hey, open it up. And I recorded it, it's on Instagram. But I didn't, it's filmed correctly, but Instagram likes to zoom in on photos and shit, I don't know why. But I was trying to hit the zoom out button on Instagram, and I don't know what the hell it did. I don't feel like reposting them. I will once I do the full documentation, but, so she opens it up, and everybody on Instagram was like, oh, it's fucking awesome. She opens it, hey, my name's not on the box. I went, oh, it's not. It's like, no, your name's on the box. I said, maybe you should open the box. There's something in the box. She opens it up, and, she goes, what? This is cool, not really, she can see what it is. It's a, she can tell it's old photos of her sister. She really can't, that's cool. That's cool. I said, well, there's a light in the box. Pull the light out. She pulls the light out, and she goes, what the hell is this? And I was like, oh, here's good. I said, take the light, stick it out, behind that, and then turn the light on with the controller. And then she does that. She just freaked out and was just happy as hell. and a few minutes later she just started bawling, but had a few tears come out of her eyes, but she was like, that was a cool thing. So later down the day, I found out that, oh, I knew before that. I asked her in a sneak little text message, I'm like, what house was your sister in, or are you in? And she goes, I was always in Ravenclaw. My sister related to all of them, but she stuck more to Gryffindor. We never really knew what she really wanted. She liked Gryffindor and stuff like that. So thank God I had the Griffins in front, because it should have been, but it was all cool, or, stuff like that. She goes, no, my sister was more, she liked all the houses. She was more, she said she was Gryffindor, but I believe she was more Ravenclaw. I may be wrong, but it is what it is. But the Griffins were holding, there's a wand holder with the thing, so that holds the wand, so there's your Griffins, and then there's the Ravenclaw and stuff like that, and the photos of her. So it really played off in the end. The Incredibles was fucking amazing. We really enjoyed the hell out of that. We stayed all the way to the end with other people that were grown-ass people like ourselves, in the movie. Surprisingly, there was a lot of crazy kids. We all decided, I think we were like, probably a lot of the adults were in there, like, we're all grown now. It's, the movie's been forever. And like the Pixar was like, hey guys, we know it's been a while. Samuel Jackson popped up, a lot of the actors popped up. It was like, we know it's been a while. It's been this many years. But it took a while for us to build this. Now they can fucking do it in days and weeks. They can do an animation film. And just with all the computers and shit they can do. It takes time to get it rendered and shit like that, but that's that. Anyway, amazing film. I think a couple couples and stuff like that all waited till the end. And everybody turned to everybody else and go, y'all waited till the end too? We said, yeah. So you never know what movies nowadays, Marvel, did it to everybody. Marvel, everybody does that Marvel effect, But, great movie, and before the movie starts, now there has to be like a warning epilepsy thing, because that one scene, holy shit, I don't have epilepsy, but man, my eyes were hurting too. It was like, brrr, so bad with just strobe effects. Oh my god. If you had epilepsy, I could see why. I think one kid ended up having it. That's why Disney had to quickly stop the film and then put a quick epilepsy note inside the beginning. Like, warning, if you have epilepsy, you might not want to fucking watch this, or close your eyes, as the scene's going off. It was bad. It was really bad. I can't believe Pixar didn't really either turn that down or didn't. At the time you don't really think about that until it happens. But the movie was good. What else did we end up doing? We did a movie. We ended up going out for dinner, and we ended up deciding on going to Red Lobster or something like that. We did something. We went around. We ended up going to Red Lobster. It was kind of funny because it was like dead. I said, it's already this time. We might as well go out to get some dinner and we'll be home by 8 and relax and stuff like that. Watch a movie, which we ended up watching Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Which everybody who's probably listening goes, holy shit, great movie. She didn't like it that much. She didn't really understand it. It wasn't really clicking on her brain, but that's cool. Some people, I warned her before, I'm like, she's want to watch Monty Python. Okay, well, we can watch that. But anyway, we're at Lobster, and we got something we had for my birthday, and I had to find the bartender that we were serving us, because they had already kind of low on staff that day, and they were getting ready for the 4th of July and stuff like that. Apparently some dude walked out on a $160 bill that he created. Like an Asian family, walked out. It was like, how the fuck could you down and dash on a $160 bill? Like, dude, that's crazy, But I'm pretty sure they had security cameras and shit. But everybody was like, hey, did you get cash from that guy? She's like, no. Did you give you a credit card? No. It's like, oh shit. So a couple of the families were like around that table too, and they're like, yeah, they just got up and left. I was like, damn, I wish I had the balls to do that, but I never would. It's not something you want on your conscience, stuff like that. That was a fun story for the anniversary. But we got home, watched Monty Python Holy Grail. I explained it to her that she probably wouldn't understand it, but this is why people laugh at certain parts. Yada yada yada. It just kind of threw her off a little bit, and she was tired. But it's Monty Python. Not everybody gets it. But yeah, that was our anniversary. Kind of wanted to explain what I was doing that week. Let's see what time we got. Holy shit, 30 minutes. Well, at least I had something to talk about. I think I had anything to talk about. Anyway, let me go deeper into some topic. So, again, on with 3D printing news, I ended up getting the Wacom tablet, which is episode 39.5. I ended up purchasing. I'm going to show it to you guys. Finally able to play with it on the desktop. I don't have very strong computers. and then I ended up playing on my I don't have it on the MacBook because the MacBook I just use for editing and stuff like that. Made that perfectly clear to myself that hey, that's just for editing and getting my shit done and podcasting. Which works phenomenal. I think I like that idea better than I ever did. But I started using Wacom, finally learning how to use it. Fucking phenomenal Wacom tablet. Oh my god, I don't know why I waited so long. I know why I did, because I was looking at the Bamboo, I was looking at a few other ones, intous and stuff like that. I ended up going with the intous, went to Amazon to go get it. I know that excuse me. The other version came with ZBrush Core, and I looked at the ZBrush Core for a little bit. And my buddy Trent Ward, who runs Ward FX, who does his own makeup stuff, and then he works for Universal Orlando for Hollywood Hornets. Every occasion that he can, he works for a couple other makeup people for some of their prop effect shops. And he now gotten a 3D printing. He's learning it himself, and I'm able to share some of my knowledge with him the best that I can. I never said I was professional at this stuff. I'm still learning. And I went online, a lot of people are still learning. As you could be claiming you're a 3D professional, you're not. Things change, settings change, materials change. It's a constant evolution of materials, time, motors, shit like that, and techniques. But yeah, the Wacom, man, I ended up going, I think it was about 199, something like that. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't overly pricey either. And I got the medium-sized version, so I'm able to. Was it medium or small? It's big enough for me. I'm now learning how to use it. Got my palm on it and stuff like that. One-to-one rendering with the pen and stuff like that. And it just, wow, is it a game changer? Holy shit! I started playing with it, doing the It came with two. If you ordered the Bluetooth version, which is the newest version, the intous, it came with 2 programs. But if you ordered the medium, you got the 4 programs with it, and I ended up just choosing 2, a painting program and then a comic program, so you can learn how to paint and stuff like that and see what the rendering time is, and it was pretty much 1-to-1. The one thing I was really kind of pissed about was I wanted to learn kind of ZBrush, and I was like, do I really want to spend an extra, send it back and then spend for. I think I spent like $99 on it, and then I think the other older year ago version was $189 for ZBrush. It came with ZBrush Core, and then it was the older version that everybody was like, it's okay, but you're better off going with the newer one if you want Bluetooth and stuff like that. And being that I'm going to be on the go, a lot with going to work and home and stuff like that, coming in the near future. I was like, it's good to have something in the car so I can kind of just sketch out or sculpt and stuff like that. But I ended up hitting up ZBrush, ProLogic, Pixelogic, and I said, what the fuck, man? It's better to hit them up than not hit them up at all. See if they offer like a free version, a free version for entrepreneurs or whatever like that. Because a lot of companies do. A lot of companies are like, hey, we're willing to work with you, we're willing to work with us. Here's the ruling behind that. You'll get an 8-month trial or something like that. And I ended up writing a nice little email and stuff like that. I was like, hey, do you guys offer a discount or anything for entrepreneurs or kind of does pro bono work, which I do. I do a lot of fucking pro bono work. Wish I got paid more for shit I do. But I don't. It's just, I have a big heart, and I wish my people were big with their wallets, but they're not. It is what it is. Anyway, so I hit up ProLogic, talked to them, wrote a nice email, and I said, hey, do you guys offer a trial solution? Or they're like, yeah, we don't offer, and they wrote me a day back, and it wasn't really a mean email or anything, but it was like, hey, yeah, we don't offer any discount or trials for ZBrush Core. We do understand that the tablet that you were looking at, we know which one you're talking about, yada yada yada. But unfortunately, yeah, we're willing to do. At the end of the day, we can't help you. We really can't help you. The best thing we can kind of offer and to help you out is to do a payment plan, like $50. I think it was a payment plan that meant, okay, you pay chunk, and then we give you the software. And I'm like, well, what the fuck good is that? I'm like, I might as well just save money up now and just fucking, work a couple more shifts to kind of afford this program. And ZBrush Core is like $150 on their site and stuff like that. So I was like, alright, it's a bare bones kind of how to sculpt thing. It's more meant for 3D printers and people that do sculpture and stuff like that. But I figured, you know, learning that and then being able to do crutch handles and stuff like that, and be able to sculpt freehand into clay and be able to turn that into a 3D model and then print it out, that would be a big game changer for me instead of using CAD. I love using CAD and learning. I'm still learning CAD. CAD's a lot to fucking learn if you're learning all these new techniques and how to curve things and make sure they're components, not components, making sure the model is wireframed correctly, stuff like that. Playing with it, loving it, but I ended up hooking it up on the. I said, fuck it, man. I got a little bit extra change. I can kind of, you know, if I listen to it now, later on in life, I can even like next year, I can write it up in taxes as a program, which you can do, which is cool. So it's something I use every day. I'm starting to learn it now, but the biggest concern on the work laptop, because it's not a very good work laptop, because I'm kind of broke like that. I ended up sticking 8 gigs into the laptop, and it runs pretty well. Fired up ZBrush core, and it runs pretty freaking smooth. No issues. Used the tablet on it. Wacom tablet ran fine. The only thing that I have to say that runs a little bit sluggish on, even on my desktop, we've got like 16 gigs of RAM, is the Fusion 360, because it's rendering so much and moving. The more components you add, the crazier it's like, okay, we gotta render this in color and shit like that. You know, it's better to. I have it set for the best settings, but still, people have said that too. Even with 123 design, it's very sluggish when you try to add more components into the model, because it's trying to render it all for you in high definition. That's just the way the program is. But yeah, now what the hell was the Wacom tablet when I needed it? But I talked to a friend of ours over at the Horror Makeup Show, who is a makeup artist, and he does a lot of the Halloween horror stuff. He does a lot of the makeup, and they've been doing it. He's been doing it for a decade. He's been in the industry for a long time. He's worked on a couple Hollywood films, you know, stuff like that. Really, really nice guy. But I ended up talking with him, and I said, hey man, I felt like I got a Wacom. And he goes, yeah. I said, yeah. He goes, I said, I'm really excited, super kind of nervous. You know, he doesn't do 3D printing himself, but he thinks it's cool technology. He thinks that he likes to look at my work, and we like to geek about it and stuff like that. But I was telling him about ZBrush, and he's like, oh man, that's going to be a big game changer for you, definitely. He's like, have you played with it? Because he's used to like the big tablet Wacoms, so he's used like the digital ones, and he's like, man, he's like, that's a fucking game changer within itself, you know, man. And I was like, that's going to be fucking cool. So played with it on the laptop. Haven't really played with too much this week because I've been really busy. But the goal is to take my laptop to work and get some work done there while I'm waiting to clock in, or just, you know, have use the toilet or something like that. I can get some work done for like an hour. I work on. Well, what I did is I ended up working on a coworker's hand grip again, and that's on Instagram too. And I had to, since the fucking computer went, I lost the file to that, so I had to really rebuild it. And it wasn't hard to do. It was just a fucking square, but it was just trying to find the infill speed. And I had a rendered G-code file on the micro SD card on the CR10, but I could not pull up the fucking original, like what my settings were on it. So I literally had to go online. I went to like look. I typed in like on Google or Yahoo. It was like G-code viewer or something like that. Something came up. It was like load the file up, and it pulls up all the G-code so you can read it carefully into like C++ or something like that. And luckily, like, pulled it all up for me in like layman's terms, and I was reading through it carefully, and I found out what the fill density was and fill density was and shit like that. So I was able to really refix it, and then getting NinjaFlex to print properly again was a kind of a bitch, but finally figured that out. Ended up making a few fuck ups, so I ended up using the fuck ups to do. I just left them as little mouse pads or coasters for my coffee tables. I think that's the best way of using a recycled 3D TPU print. But anyway, my coworker seems to really be loving it. I ended up getting it out her cane, and she was out without her one cane for a couple days, but she wasn't upset about it. She's like, if you're gonna do it right, you're gonna do it right. So we just cleaned up the bottom of the thing. I printed it really well, a little bit longer, you know, so it's long enough, but on the side it needed to curve under. But that didn't work out too well because the way the handle set up, so I ended up taking the X-Acto knife and trimming a lot of that down, and then sculpting it to the grip, which apparently one of the guy I was just talking about, he ended up doing a favor for me. He ended up setting down the bottom of the cane a little bit of her grip so it'd be a little more comfortable. But other than that, she loves it. It's been day 3, day 4 with it back in her hand. She's loving it. Gives her a lot of relief for her carpal tunnel and stuff like that. But that's my goal with the Wacom, is like being able to 3D sculpt in clay, digital clay, and then being able to turn that into a 3D model to where I can render that, 3D print that in PLA or TPU, which I'm loving, NinjaFlex, which I owe those fucking guys a lot. JN and Arius Poppies, but I believe both of those people maybe have left the company. But if they are listening or they're around, still from the bottom of my heart, thank you so fucking much for giving me that chance to use your filament and trying it out, and just, man, it was a fucking game changer. It's still a game changer. But the goal is to do a new pair of grips for myself with texture, and then I know me and John were working on, but John's been so fucking busy with his stuff, and just real life for him, and we talk through the internet and shit like that, so he's been really busy. He said he owes me a goddamn life, is what he pretty much told me the other day. Yeah, my goal is to like make some texture with the ZBrush. So I have Friday and Saturday off, so I should be able to sit down for a little bit and play with that and learn it some more, learn some of the tools. But I can't wait. And then my buddy Shane, who I was talking about, who does the horror makeup stuff, he wants to commission me or work with me to either get a mask printed for him that he wants to do, like he wants to do a mask that he's already got the kind of thing, but he doesn't have a 3D scanner, and I don't have a 3D scanner. So if anybody out there knows of a good company here in Orlando or in the Florida area that's pretty reasonable, or knows anybody with like good 3D scanning, let me know at openmindindustries@gmail.com. I've already found a company here in Orlando. Not sure how it is. I do want to talk with a company called Peel 3D. They're around. They've got a few hundred likes on their page, stuff like that. I talked to them before on Facebook, and they're really cool. But I haven't seen much of their stuff. But I'm really looking for it. I mean, their scanner's like, I think, $4,900. That's not fucking cheap either. That's a good, computer. But I think I'm hitting them up and seeing if I can maybe get a loaner units to try out, or really, I want to get their name out there, like I did fucking Snapmaker. Snapmaker fucking blew up, and now they're doing great. They don't even talk to me anymore. Now that they blew up. But I hit them up the other day, Snapmaker, and they're actually a really good company too. So if you guys are looking to get an all-in-one 3D printer, it's going to do for a little maker fair or whatever, laser etching and stuff like that, or CNC or something like that. Check out fucking Snapmaker, man. Really good printer. I still want to have somebody from there on the podcast, but no one's gotten back to me. I can always hit them up again. I've hit them up a couple times, and at the time they weren't ready. They even told me they weren't ready for an interview or something like that, because they were just busy getting fucking units up through Kickstarter. But yeah, I hope they do remember who I am. They have talked to me a couple times. But my goal, like I said, we're an R&D company. We're here to find companies, projects that would work benefit for those with able and able bodies, and we're trying to find certain filaments, shit like that. I don't want to be the 3D printing nerd. I want to be Ali, just do my thing. But the 3D crutches of planning on fucking building slowly but surely. There's a few other things I want to build slowly but surely, but it takes time. But having everybody here listening to the podcast, and it's fun to do that. What else I want to talk about this week? Let me just check my notes before I sign off for the night, because I want to do another podcast later throughout the week. Yep, anniversary present, ZBrush. Yep, I pretty much talked about all that. Holy crap. Oh, well, so I guess all that shit's happened. Anyway, guys, yeah, that's pretty much been my week so far. I'll talk to you guys. We made it to episode 40. It's been fucking amazing. But yeah, again, if anybody knows of a 3D scanning or 3D laser service here in Orlando or Florida in general, like the central area of Florida, let me know at openmindindustries@gmail.com, or hit us up at openmindindustries.com. Click on our Instagram page or our fucking Twitter page. Hit me up through there, and let me know what's going on, or if anybody knows of a cheap 3D scanner thing. I did use the fucking XYZ one, which I did sell when I bought the when I had to get rid of the DaVinci 1.0, which I don't fucking regret at all. I don't regret not seeing that here anymore. I fucking hate that thing. Hated it with everything fucking. I'm hoping the guy I sold it to, who seemed like he was a really nice nerd. I mean, last time I've used Craigslist, obviously, but the guy was really chill. He was just getting into 3D printing, and he wanted to get it for his first one. But he said he was going to totally fucking revamp it and put a new. He already had a motherboard for it and everything. Out of his own motherboard, he's going to program and everything. But he's going to fuck that printer up. Nobody's business. So, yeah, I'm hoping he did well. I only sold it for like I think $150. So, was it 150? 100 and change. But he ended up getting a scanner with it, some filament. I ended up a new bed, fucking everything with it, man. So he was, the guy made out. He really made out. I lost a lot of fucking money on that printer. I literally did. Like, the guys even on the hub, the XYZ page, were like, dude, you could have fucking sold me parts from that, because they're not even selling them. I'm like, I know. I was just about to, and this guy hit me up, and he was like, he was dead fucking serious. Left me like an actual voicemail, left me a call, told me to call him back. I ended up calling him, getting in touch with him, and he was like, hey man, he's like, I'm a legit dude. I really I can be over in your area in like a day. So he came over in a day, and he came up around, like, I think it was like, but he came over, picked it up. We ended up sitting outside for a good hour just talking about 3D printing. He was getting into it. I gave him some filament and shit like that. We ended up talking, but he was pretty chill dude. So I'm hoping the printer is treating him well. So in the long, haven't heard anything from him for like a long fucking time. So I'm guessing everything's going okay. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off. Hope you guys are gonna do well. I'm gonna get back into the workout station, shit like that. Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in.